What's going on, Nerd Nation? It's your boy Chris. We're back again with Average Sports Nerds. This is Nerds at 9, a little segment. I've been doing these for the last week or so, but joined by my guys again, Miles, Alex. What's going on, fellas? How you guys been?
Yo, what's going on, guys? Yeah, glad to be back. Glad to have Alex back.
Yeah, it's glad to be back. Got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we really only have one thing that we're going to talk about
Pretty
right
much.
now, and
Pretty much.
we could probably go for as long as we need to, but you you know what it is. Ben Simmons traded for James Harden. Just to give you the details, I'll let Alex jump into it first, but James Harden, Paul Millsap going over to the 76ers in exchange for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and 2 first-round picks. So we all know Alex is the Sixers fan, so the floor is yours. What are your initial thoughts?
My initial reaction was finally. This trade has been brewing for a while now. With going back to the beginning of the year, Ben Simmons, saying that he doesn't want to be there anymore. To like last week when James Harden had like 4 points against the Jazz or something like that. When he just didn't want to. It was obvious he didn't want to be there anymore. So everything was circling and coming to this point, and I'm so happy that Ben Simmons is no longer a Sixer. I can put his jersey that I got last year in the trash, or do something with it because I'm not gonna wear it ever again. But I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad. At first too, I wasn't so sure about how much they gave up to get rid of him and to get James Harden. But at the end of the day, you're pairing the best big man in the league, the best big man in the league. Yes, I said it. I'm going to keep saying it. By far, by far. If people think it's closer than it is, no. Anyway, you're pairing the best big man in the league with a dude who's having a down year in his career, and that's 22, 8, and 10. So, if James Harden can get back to getting 25 to 26 or 7 points a game with similar numbers, paired that with Embiid, the Sixers didn't lose too much in terms of their production. I'm happy. This by far is the best chance the Sixers have since I've been alive and a Sixers fan of winning a championship. So, the process going back to losing 72 games or whatever they lost in their record-breaking year, 27 straight, whatever it was, has led up to this moment. And here we are. And hopefully it all works out.
Yeah, I think that's a great point that you made. I'm kind of interested in like how I think the teams are going to be now because
Yeah.
we're both in the same conference, obviously. So like, who do you guys think got the better of the trade? Because me personally, I honestly kind of believe the 76ers are going to turn out better than the Nets. Like I know it looks good on paper with the Nets, Ben Simmons, Kyrie, still a part-time player, Kevin Durant. I mean,
Always.
Alex, we were talking about this earlier. Yeah, he's getting hurt a lot. I mean, it could work out, and I don't know. I really wanted to see how it play out with James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, honestly, because I mean, 3 top premier players, but I think they only played 16 total games together, and they were amazing in those games. But
Yeah.
we'll just never know what the outcome could have been. But I honestly
No.
think the 76ers will turn out better. I still think they have the defense, and now that you brought one of the best offensive players to pair along with Joel Embiid, I mean, they're going to be tough. They're going to be tough, and the East got even more competitive, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I think both teams definitely got better just because of the situations. Obviously, Ben Simmons wasn't playing at all, so getting
Yeah.
something back for him, I think getting James Harden back is a great move for 76ers. I didn't think they'd be able to get a star player. So, shout out to their front office. I do think it makes them better. But, I mean, I still think the Nets are going to be a better team. Just, I know, they've lost a lot of games in a row. KD hasn't played though. When KD was there, they were the number 1 seed in the East. Kyrie, he's been balling in the games that he is playing. They're playing the Wizards right now. They should probably get off their losing ways because the Wizards are so bad. But, going forward, Ben Simmons, if he's actually there to play, he's going to be the only
he's gonna
person on
be
the
there to
team
play.
that can't shoot. So, I mean, I kind of like the fit. I think,
He was the only person on the team for the Sixers who couldn't shoot. What do you mean? It's the same thing.
nah, I
Yeah, it's
mean,
the same. It's the same thing. He's not gonna be any better. Like,
but he didn't have a KD on his team. I mean, he was the second option on that team. On this option,
was?
he's clearly the third.
Tobias was the second option. That's just a bad second option, but he was the second option.
I mean,
Ben Simmons was the third, maybe the fourth with Seth Curry.
Before they stopped giving him the ball, he had the ball a lot more in his hands. Ben Simmons did. I mean, that's how he averaged all those assists. He averaged like the same amount of points almost as Tobias. So I mean, hey, I like the fit. I think the Nets are going to be better just because they have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. James Harden, I went on a rant about him a couple days ago, man. This guy, he's soft. Like, he went to the Nets because he thinks, oh, it's going to be easy ring, and then it wasn't. And, yeah, I mean, things could have happened. I get why he's frustrated, but, like, to just give up on the team just after he did the same thing in Houston, like, what's going to happen when it gets hard in Philly? Because it will get hard. It's not going to be easy. So I think he'll fold again like he has his whole career. He's never stepped up in the playoffs.
I agree, he hasn't, and that's the one thing I'm worried about. But however, we don't need him to be this James Harden that carries teams. We need him to be the complement to Joel Embiid. That's all we need him to be. Just run a pick and roll with those two. Get fouled. They're gonna get those two combined are gonna shoot 50 free throws a game. So it's like just even in the playoffs, just be James Harden. Just don't force it. Don't think too much. Just play the way he needs to play in order to get points, get buckets. Because like I said, Tobias Harris is still there. Tyrese Maxey is still there, which is I was shocked that they were able to make this trade without getting rid of him and Matisse Thybulle.
Yeah,
so
good move.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried about their depth, getting rid of Drummond and not having Seth Curry on the floor to keep the spacing up. But like I said, man, you're getting one of the best premier scorers the league has ever seen, one of the best three-point shooters the league has ever seen off the dribble. So I'm not, as long as he's healthy, as long as he wants to be there, and he might need to lose a couple pounds or two, but who knows?
For me personally, I don't even think he needs to do that. I think he was good playing at the. I mean, when he first got in the Nets, I mean, people were still talking about him as a top 5 player. So. And me personally, I think Joel Embiid, let's say the 76ers and Nets matchup. Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant probably have around the same production. And me personally, I think James Harden can easily output the same amount of production as Kyrie Irving. And the thing about Kyrie Irving, he's not going to be available most of the time. And then plus you take the 76ers defense. Yeah, maybe. But it's still, hey, right now, he only playing half the game. So, hey, and then you got the 76ers defense. And then the Nets defense isn't even on par with the 76ers defense. So
I mean, it did get a lot better with Simmons and Drummond there.
Drummond, I mean, we'll see about him.
Drummond can't stop Embiid. We've seen that with whenever they've matched up against each other when he was in Detroit. There's no stopping Embiid.
Not even close. Drummond's a great rebounder, and that's really about it. He's not going to be able to give you too much production on the offensive end. He's not going to be there late in games. I don't believe. Honestly, I think they're going to have to run Ben Simmons just like not at the point guard.
No,
You can't shoot.
Put him at the 4.
You have to run the 4 or 5 or even the 5 sometimes.
So I hope they do.
Fine.
Play the Sixers. Go ahead.
That would be a nice lineup.
Put him against Embiid.
Yeah, that's barbecue. That's barbecue chicken.
Go ahead.
I mean, look,
that's a 50-50.
I'm not sure when they're going to play Ben Simmons. He's just going to be out there. Hopefully, he's not too much of a liability. I think, KD is so efficient that, we can make up for a little inefficiency from Ben Simmons.
How much do you want to overwork KD, though? I mean, we saw what happened to him last year. He had too much work on his shoulders. It fell short.
Yeah, I mean, he would have been fine if James Harden was at least decent in that series, or if Kyrie had played. They were up 2-0, beat them by like 50 points when they were all there.
James Harden was playing 50 minutes a game, though. So
Yeah,
You can take that
on
from
a hurt. He did have a hurt hamstring as
Yeah,
well.
of course he was hurt, but I'm just saying the fact that
Yeah.
you could still be out there and play an NBA playoff game for 50 minutes.
and that kind of leads to the point I'm making. He was out there, and once
Didn't do
again,
anything.
James Harden
Yeah.
was James Harden in the
You're right.
playoffs. I mean, he's
You're right.
not the same guy. Even
You're
going all the way
100%
back to
right.
OKC when they made the finals, they played against LeBron in the Heat. James Harden
He
was
was really
by
young.
far the worst out of all the Thunder players in that series. He was just terrible. So I mean, he's been doing it his whole career. I don't expect that to change. I mean, I don't expect Simmons to do that much either, but
Yeah.
I think he's the third best player on the team now, and Harden's the second. So I'm going with the Nets still, man. I'm not getting off the bandwagon just yet, even though we might be in the play-in right now.
You know what rank Ben Simmons was in the Sixers? Last, because he didn't play a single minute. The Sixers got exactly what they needed to,
Yeah.
and they are
That's one
legit.
thing.
No, I
They are
agree with that.
legit contenders now, as long as Harden, isn't a bum in the playoffs, which
Yeah.
we don't know.
And, hey, Simmons hasn't played at all, so I mean, this man got to get his rhythm back. He's got to get acclimated to a new team. So he already can't shoot.
Mark it down on your calendars. Nets, Sixers, March 10th.
I was going to bring that
In
up.
Philly. It's going to be the loudest boos you've ever heard. I promise.
I can't wait. I really do want to see how Ben Simmons responds to that because, everybody's been calling him soft and, he has been being kind of soft. But
He is soft.
it's a different level of like pressure and, it's opposing fans. It's your own team. So, maybe
I get
he can
that.
step up. Maybe
No, look, maybe.
come back with the
Well,
vengeance.
all I know is that everybody's going to get free Frosties when they play because he's missing all the free throws he's taking. Okay? If you don't know, when you're in Philly and the opposing player misses 2 free throws in a row, you get free Frosties the next day. So everybody's getting free Frosties the next day.
Yeah. I mean, last time we saw Ben Simmons in the playoffs, this guy was scared to take layups at this point.
Take a dunk.
Yeah, done. I mean,
Over Trey Young of all people.
I don't trust him.
No.
Sorry.
Bro, the fact that this man claimed his mental health issues is the reason why he wasn't playing, when in reality it was just him not wanting to own up that he hasn't worked on his shot, or he hasn't gotten his shot to the point where he's able to confidently shoot the ball in the game. But you're gonna claim your mental health and then be upset that your best player and your coach and your fans are calling you out for not performing in the playoffs when you're $100+ million player? No. He's a bum.
I mean,
he's a bum.
There's players that have had way more pressure on them than that.
1,000%.
Like
1,000%.
Hey, I mean, we saw Paul
Even-
George crumble, and then the next season in the playoffs, I thought he played really well last year. So
Paul George was an underdog star on the Pacers when nobody expected it. Ben Simmons came into the league with expectations of being LeBron 2.0 if he developed a jump shot, which I still think is possible if he develops a jump shot, because he has literally every other facet to the game that LeBron has other than the shooting. So that you can't really make that comparison, because Paul George was always like this. Ben Simmons is up here already.
Paul George
in
crashed
terms
so
of-
hard, and
in terms
everyone
of
made
expectations.
Paul George.
he talked about his mental health. I mean, it was rough, man. Paul George,
I'm sure it was.
like this time last season, was like the laughing stock of the NBA, and he's not that anymore. So I mean, he can. I think
reason-
Ben Simmons can come back from this.
The reason why I brought up the mental health thing was that his excuse for not being with the team was his mental health. Well, he gets traded. He's going to join Brooklyn on their road trip tomorrow. So,
Where did he go?
Was it his mental health, or was it him just being soft?
I mean, we all
Just
know
being a
it was
brat.
just him being soft. He
Being
had to
a
say
brat,
something,
right?
though. I mean, he couldn't just not show up.
No, he
right?
didn't. Yeah, no. I mean, you don't say your mental health. That's kind of messed up, isn't it? For people who actually have mental health issues.
I mean, I agree with that, but I mean, we all know he was just being soft.
Yeah,
It is what it is. I think James Harden was being soft. Just, hey.
maybe.
I think
mean,
he was sick of Kyrie. I think he was just sick of Kyrie Irving just not being there most of the time.
I mean, he's there. He's been balling. Kyrie Irving's playing better than he is.
he is a part-time player, as Miles said earlier. Part-time.
Hey, Well, maybe James Harden need to play part time and play better
You know
because
that's
he was
going to
not
make a
good.
difference in the playoffs
He was
too.
not good this year. Like he
If
hasn't been
if the
good.
Nets win, if the Nets are have home court advantage for any of the series, if they get past like the fourth, if they get like the third seed, right, somehow, which I don't think they can with where they are in the standings now, but if they somehow get the third seed and they play the sixth seed, whoever that is, Kyrie Irving is only going to be able to play 3 games.
That's cool.
Is it?
Hey,
Come on,
Is it?
I
KD's
know
not
you guys
you
see
know
the
KD's not
reports,
KD.
man. The Nets
Come
owner,
on.
he's got some pull up there, man. I still believe some way somehow when the playoffs come around, Kyrie Irving's gonna be playing. Like I've never come off of that. I've been saying that all year. I just believe that something's gonna get done. There's too much money involved. You know, the city of New York. I'm sure they
So you
want the
wait.
Nets to
You
win
think
the championship too.
you think the Nets owner is gonna talk to the governor of New York and convince the governor of New York to allow Kyrie Irving, who's unvaccinated, to play in the state of New York
Yep.
without being vaccinated
Pay some type of
to
fines.
the
You
whole
know.
state for one dude
Yeah,
and
pay
some
some
money.
taxes to the city or something. Yeah,
I mean,
look.
I mean,
I'm holding out
the
hope
only
here.
thing is if New York lifts the mandate, that's probably going to be the only way.
yeah.
We shall see. Summertime's coming.
I don't blame James Harden because I mean, you came here to literally it's just championship or bust. There's like I
That's
can't be
what it comes
dealing with
down.
part-time people. Like you don't want to have to deal with like no one's ever really had to deal with just a part-time player. Like I mean, if you really think about it, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it is
I don't blame him
ridiculous. I
for
mean,
being
it's not.
mad. Yeah.
It's. I mean, I don't. I mean, you can say what you want. I mean, a lot of people are going to blame that on Kyrie. I don't think it's his fault. I think it's the city of New York's fault. But it is what it is. I mean, yeah, I could say that, you know, hey, he came there championship or bust. Everybody else on the team, well, the stars at least, they have a championship. It was him. To me, it's always been him who doesn't show up. He didn't show up last year. You could say he was hurt, but you know he never gave them any opportunity to win a championship because of his play. So I don't feel he has the right to be upset. Personally, that's just how I feel about him. I've lost all confidence in him. I'm not a fan of his anymore. I don't like the way he acted these last 2 places he's been. So until he
Yeah,
shows
but
me
I
in the
mean,
playoffs, I don't trust James Harden at all.
and that's valid because like he doesn't show up in the playoffs. But I mean, still, I mean, he's at the point of his career where he's kind of old. I mean, as far as NBA goes, I mean, he's kind of old. I mean, he doesn't really have a lot of time to waste anymore. It's kind of at this point, it's just really all or nothing. You got to just do that. You got to do the high percentage move at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Whether it's right or wrong that Kyrie Irving doesn't want to do X, Y, and Z, you just got to make the high percentage move for yourself. And that's what Kevin Durant did when he wanted to get a championship. Hey, he just made the highest percentage move that was going to get him a championship. I think James Harden, this was in his best interest. Hey, KD's not even here. We're just on a complete downfall. I mean, we're just, like losing to terrible teams and stuff. Kyrie Irving, we know he's not going to. If Kyrie Irving's out there by himself, we know he's not carrying a team on his own. So
That's a fact.
that's yeah. I mean that's been proven. I mean when he's on the Cavs, he couldn't carry them. When he's on the Celtics, he couldn't carry them.
People
I mean,
forget about him in Boston.
yeah. You just can't do it. And he had good players on the Celtics. So I think James Harden made a good move. Or I mean he didn't make the move, but I think he expressed his. Yeah, so I think he did.
Brian Windhorst did report that he was kicking and screaming, quote unquote, like to get out of there. And, you know, so it was him like forcing his way out, just like he did in Houston last year. So yeah.
So pressure's on James Harden.
As far as championship or bust, I mean, it's now or never for Philly. I mean, we don't know how much longer Joel Embiid is going to be this dominant. I mean, he's 20. I don't even know how old he is. 28, 29. We don't know how long this window will be open. You know, so it's definitely championship or bust for them. And Daryl Morey and Doc, and I'm sure everybody feels that way. So as long as the guy who I have the least amount of faith in the Sixers organization is Doc Rivers. 1,000% Doc Rivers. I don't trust him as a coach anymore. You know, after watching the downfall last year, or the collapse last year against the Hawks in multiple games, and you know there was a game earlier this week. They lost to the Suns in Philly where they were up, and in the fourth quarter, this man trots out an entire bench lineup when the Suns are making a comeback. I mean, I get that's your rotation and or whatever. It's the regular season. It's not the playoffs, so it's not that big of a difference, right? But these little things matter, right? So little things like that. And I don't think I've ever seen an inbounds play while he's been the Sixers head coach. An inbounds play that he draws up. They've never worked. Not one. I'm sure they have, but I just haven't seen any. So I don't trust Doc. I hope he can fix it, and I hope James Harden can work this out, because it's now or never, man. This is what the process was all about.
Yeah, even when he was coaching the Clippers, man, making a lot of questionable calls and stuff, and just not getting his team. I mean, not getting his team where they should have been. So
yeah,
that's
the fact that he is the NBA named him a top 15 head coach of all time.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah, I don't really agree with that.
Kind of crazy to me. I mean, I know he's had multiple winning seasons when he was, after the Celtics won their championship, and then in LA, and obviously we were the first seed last year, multiple winning seasons. But he's also got the most 3-1 defeats, the most big lead collapses. So it's pick your poison, I guess, with Doc.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I still think the good thing about all this for the 76ers is Joel Embiid is just like on a different level on offense and on offense and defense, and that's going to carry them a long way as long as he's healthy. So that's one thing. Coach, bad coach or good coach, hey, you got one of the top. He's probably top 5 in the NBA right now. So.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah, people are saying he is the best player on the planet, like right now, because of KD being hurt, LeBron not being at the level that he just when he was
y'all disrespecting Giannis.
In January, the numbers he was putting up were asinine, absolutely crazy. Giannis hadn't had a stretch like that yet. So look. I'm not saying that he's the best player on the planet, but that's what people were saying. Shaq was one of those people. So, hey,
but it's just like. For that, I mean, just for that title, you need more games played. You can't just have like 20 good games.
I'm saying right now, who was better? Who was playing in January? Who was playing better basketball than Joel Embiid? Nobody, and that's a fact. I mean, he won Eastern Conference Player of the Month for a reason. His numbers were stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, Giannis is still
defending
champ. He's like coasting to like 30,
I'm not,
12.
I'm not. So is Embiid. So is Embiid.
He dropped 44 on the Lakers on AD and pretty much the whole. He's just giving AD just straight buckets.
See when they actually played somebody, made a statement.
He's dropped 50 and 40 multiple times last month. I'm just saying.
Nah, I'll go with that though. Embiid is playing probably the most dominant right now. It's unbelievable what he's doing, honestly. The amount of 30-point games in a row and stuff, and 40-point games, like you said. I think he scored 50 in like 27 minutes it was. It's just incredible.
Like
so, I mean,
less than 30 minutes, yeah.
Dude, he's taking the ball up the court, hitting you with a crossover combination, and then just hitting like a mid-range. I'm like, dang,
he's doing step-back threes and post fadeaways, and oh my gosh.
Video,
I'd be scared for him. It's like he no, go ahead.
I know what you mean. No, you're good. I was saying there's a video of Embiid like mimicking Kobe and MJ, and he looks exactly like them, but he's 7 feet, like 270 pounds, or whatever the hell he is.
I think he sent that to me.
It's crazy.
Actually.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, no, it's impressive what he's doing, but like when he goes coast to coast and like tries to hit people with Euro steps and stuff, I'm like, it looks nice, bro. It looks nice, but you scare me a little bit, bro.
Look, the only reason he's missed games this year is because of COVID. Last year he had he missed 20 games something. He's not as injury prone as everybody thinks. I promise. He missed his first few years in the league when he was still growing into his body with his foot. Ever since then, he's been, they put him on a minutes restriction. They let him ease his way into the league. Now he's in his prime doing, ridiculous things.
Yeah, and he did fight through injury, like past couple seasons too. So that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think he's definitely taking his health and his body more serious now.
Yeah,
as opposed
not
to
having Chick-fil-A all the time.
Yeah.
there was a report where he would have like two milkshakes and like 5 Chick-fil-A sandwiches on the team flights or whatever. It's like, dude, like I get you need the calories,
Big
but come
guy.
on.
The spicy delections be hidden.
Hey, they do. That's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, but I just wanted to say and wanted to get you guys' opinion on this. I think with this trade, though, I think the 76ers, the Nets, and the Bucks, one of them is coming out of the East. I was a fan of the Bulls and what they were doing, but I don't really think they stand much of a chance against these other rosters. What do you guys think? Are there any other teams in the East that you're looking at, or is it one of those?
No, I mean it's one of those 3 that are coming out. I mean, when I looked at the standings earlier today, I was surprised that I haven't really been paying attention to anybody other than the Sixers and all the drama that's going on, and and all the big name drama like the Lakers and Russell Westbrook being a bum and all that stuff. But that's a different discussion. I was surprised at where the Cavs were in the standings. I was seeing the Cavs at number 4 today. It's really shocking.
And Garland, all-star.
But I mean, they aren't gonna do anything in the playoffs. So it'll be one of those 3. And
I mean,
the Heat are up there too. Yeah.
Yeah, I still think the Bucks are the team to beat because they're not even healthy right now and they're still playing really well. So. Yeah. Right. No, one of those 3 teams for sure.
Yeah, and I
honestly don't give Brooklyn that big of a chance. I think they're the third team.
Yeah, me too. I'm right there with you. I don't trust them. They have Kevin Durant. He's efficient. We all know this, but it's just the rest of the people he's dealing with. It's just like they presenting a lot of problems that aren't conducive to like a championship like team. It's possible. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. But I mean, just the likelihood of it.
Yeah, when you have Kevin Durant, it's possible. Yeah,
it's definitely possible. But just like Alex mentioned, the Bucks. I mean, I think they're just overall like really solid team, top to bottom. They got DiVincenzo back this year. I know you didn't play it. I don't even think he played it all last year.
Oh, not the greatest player.
Oh, really?
For Serge Ibaka.
Oh, that's right.
Interesting. I didn't even see that. Okay, well, hey, he's out of there. So I guess that point doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say. I mean, I would agree with that though. I think the Bucks definitely got to be the favorites out of the East, and then I would put the 76ers right now above the Nets just because what we talked about. KD hasn't been playing. They're just overall not playing good already, and then as of right now, Kyrie Irving is a part-time player. So I mean.
Yeah.
I agree.
And as of right now, they're playing in the play-in tournament, right? So.
Yeah, I think they're like 9th in the.
They're
East
8th right now.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
I just think they'll overcome. I have a lot of faith in KD. I'm rooting for Kyrie. I'm hoping he can play all the games, and if that happens,
I don't trust Kyrie Irving. I don't trust Ben Simmons. I don't trust really anybody on that roster other than Steph Curry, which is saying something.
Hey, Patty Mills.
And Kevin Durant.
I like that.
Patty Mills is solid too.
I like that combination.
They do have a lot of guards. They have a lot of guards and a lot of shooting, but at the same time, I don't think their defense, other than Ben Simmons, is going to be able to stack up to stop Brooklyn. Stop Milwaukee or stop Philly.
I want to ask Chris this real quick.
Go ahead.
What if Kevin Durant doesn't win the championship this season? Does he keep getting considered in the best player conversation, or what?
All right. See, I mean, it kind of depends how it happens. Always, I reserve the right to, analyze the games. Last year, KD had his 50-point game and in Game 7 lost, so I didn't really hold too much against him. But, if Ben Simmons completely implodes, I can't say that would be on KD. But, yeah, I mean, if they don't win, if Giannis wins again especially, they're like, no matter what, if Giannis wins again, there's no way we can say that he's not the best player. So, I mean, I'll say that. I mean, if they lose to, like, the 76ers or something, then, yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to start judging KD just a little bit differently. He's still all-time great, though.
Of course. He's still probably going to be the second or third best player at any given time for the rest of his career. But that definitive best player in the world, I just have never been able to, in my opinion, I've never been able to say that about him.
No, I think I'm right there with you. I mean, he's always been number two, whether it's to LeBron or right now Giannis.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, like Giannis really passed him up. Honestly, like as
yeah,
far as like even his accolades and just like ever since like Giannis is like fourth year in the league, Giannis has been like up there. So
yeah, and he doesn't miss games.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's durable. He has everything you want, out of a superstar player. So gotta give it to Giannis, man. It's tough to say. I still think Kevin Durant's more skilled.
I think he's more
I mean,
talented.
of course,
if
of
I could
course.
play basketball like anyone in the world, I think I would want to play like Kevin Durant. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's why I just maybe I overrate him a little bit. But he's
Yeah.
gonna prove it.
Of-
Come on, Kevin.
And,
Come on, Kevin.
and that's what I've always said. The way Kevin Durant plays the game is beautiful to watch. But then and he's 7 feet tall. And yes, he's pretty much unguardable, efficient. But I mean, that just doesn't. There's still other aspects of the game where he's just not there. Like just the defensive intensity on both ends of the court. Like he doesn't bring that like Giannis, or the defensive intensity. He just doesn't bring that like Giannis, and never really has. And we've seen Giannis guarding everybody, versatile, one defensive player of the year, and also being one of the top offensive players. I mean, Giannis's true shooting percentage is almost always equivalent to Kevin Durant's, even though Giannis can't shoot. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well,
I mean,
I'm not gonna say Giannis can't shoot anymore.
He's
can't
gonna
shoot well. Can't shoot on KD's level though.
No. I mean, hardly anybody can. So that's not really a knock on him.
It's not a knock on him. I'm just saying the production doesn't matter how you get your buckets. Just get them efficiently, and that's what Giannis does. And he's arguably always the best player on defense. So.
Definitely. I mean, can't argue with you there for sure. But yeah, I mean, I guess from there, you guys have any last thoughts on this trade? Last thoughts, about the NBA before we get out of here?
Got to get Westbrook out of LA. That's just all I wanted to say.
It's too late now.
I don't know how.
Deadline's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a wasted year for LeBron and AD, which is a shame because LeBron is 37. But it's a wasted year for them because they can't. LeBron even said it himself. He doesn't think the team constructed right now could get on the Bucks level, and if you can't get on the Bucks level, you're not going to be able to beat the Suns or the Warriors in the West, or even I don't even know who's in third right now. So it's
and they made
not
no
looking good for the
today,
Lakers.
So.
None. Yeah, it's not looking good.
So
it's literally hard to watch Westbrook play now. Like it's like the stuff he does is cringe. I'm like, what are you doing? Hitting the side of the backboard multiple games in a row is like how? I just don't understand.
When they were playing the Bucks, I think it was the Bucks or the Knicks or something. When somebody hit him in the corner, wide open, the entire Staples Center crowd yelled no or don't shoot or something, and he shot and he missed. Of course. So, I mean, I liked Russ. I always have liked Russ. I've always thought he was selfish, but at the same time, he's always fun to watch. And he needs to retire after this year. I think, to be honest.
Yeah, the athleticism's gone, man. I just think
it's gone.
He never really was that efficient of a player. He wasn't a good shooter. He's just what can he really do anymore? Like, I feel bad, man. I love Russell Westbrook. He did good things for the Wizards last year. I mean, he wasn't the greatest player ever, but I mean, without him, I don't think we would have made the playoffs.
Not at all. Yeah.
Yeah. 100% agree. It's just tough to watch. It's sad, but he's just not. Yeah, like I think the athleticism, he just can't make that up, and he didn't have any other go-to move. He has nothing else.
Just like when Derrick Rose went down, I know he was young, he's super young, and he didn't really have a chance to develop the rest of his game with the athleticism. But once he lost it, and it was a mental thing too for him, but his game just was never the same. So.
Yeah, but I mean, even D Rose, he's fought to maintain his spot in the league. He's definitely improved a lot. So I give him credit there. I mean, Westbrook could potentially do that, but
I mean, when you look at the numbers for Russ, his shooting percentage isn't that bad. I think he had a better field goal percentage than Steph and some other good shooters in the league, which is really surprising. But it's just that it doesn't work with LeBron and AD. And
the turnovers are too egregious. Like when he makes them, it's just like it's too wild, and the Lakers already aren't good at defense, and they can never get back in transition. So it's an easy bucket every time. And Russell Westbrook can go down and do 3 turnovers in the same quarter. I mean,
yeah,
it's hard.
3 turnovers in a minute, but
yeah, I was being generous.
The last thing I did want to say, we got a comment from Ethan. Shout out to Ethan. He said, we're all forgetting about Paul Millsap in this deal. He still thinks Paul Millsap's pretty good. I mean, you guys got any comment about that one?
I mean, not really. I mean, he's going to be off the bench, obviously, right? He's, give, 10, 15 minutes a game. But he's not going to do anything that Drummond wasn't doing, I guess. He's not going to do anything more than Drummond was doing. He's probably going to do less because he's not as big and he's not as good as a rebounder. And,
you can't run with these young boys.
His prime is way gone.
Yeah.
So I guess it's nice. It's a nice for the bench, that veteran presence, but.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he'll do much more than just be a veteran presence in the locker room, but.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows, man?
They just had to throw him in the trade to make something happen a little bit.
Yeah. He probably was he probably didn't want to be with Brooklyn anymore either or something. He's get him out of here. 15 minutes a game or something. He can hold it down for a few. But yeah, I mean, I guess with that, I gotta say it's been awesome having you guys back on here talking sports. Hopefully we can do this again soon. Yeah, quickly though, it is Thursday before the Super Bowl. I gotta get your Super Bowl picks. I do gotta get that before we go off here. Who you guys got?
One. So I'll be rooting for Matthew Stafford. I want him to get a ring with everything that happened in his career in Detroit. Joe Burrow, it's the second season, man. He hasn't gone through enough turmoil and adversity for him to be this successful already. I mean, no, I'm not taking anything away from him. The dude's a baller. He deserves everything that's coming to him. But at the same time, I'm just gonna be rooting for Matthew Stafford. I don't really care for the Rams. If Matthew Stafford wasn't the quarterback, I wouldn't want the Rams to win. But Aaron Donald deserves a ring. Matthew Stafford deserves a ring. So I'll be rooting for them. I think they're gonna win too. I think that defensive line is gonna destroy the Bengals' offensive line, which has been horrid all year. So I think it'll be like a 10-point win for the Rams. A shootout, but 10-point win.
Yeah, I was thinking the same along the lines. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be at least teams are going to both put over 30 points, I believe. But I'm going to take the Rams. I'm a huge OBJ fan, so I want to see him get a ring.
He deserves one too.
And I do want to see Matthew Stafford in the biggest game because like you mentioned, he hasn't really got a chance to showcase how good he can be. So I'm excited to really see him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and he did it against the Bucks. That last throw to Cup was
big time.
When you look at it, or if you saw it from the end zone view, see how early he threw that ball when the pressure was in his face, just knowing Cup was going to be there. I wouldn't name 3 other quarterbacks in the league who could make that throw. I think Matthew Stafford's talent has been just completely underestimated and undervalued because he's been in such a terrible organization for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was talking about the other day that if Matt Stafford wins the Super Bowl, what's to say, why wouldn't he rank at least near where Aaron Rodgers is at? Aaron Rodgers only has 1 Super Bowl. He's definitely been with a better organization his whole career. And then as soon as Matt Stafford, got to a team good enough to win the Super Bowl, he did it.
One.
So, I mean, the conversation at least has to start. I mean, and if you think about it, Matt Stafford was the number 1 overall pick. People expected him to be nice. He always had great arm talent. Aaron Rodgers was a first-round pick, but he wasn't, the number 1 pick. So, I mean, I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers was on the bench for a couple of years before he started, so he didn't have that expectation that Stafford did. He was like you said, a good organization, which absolutely matters in the NFL. It's not like the NBA where LeBron can go into Cleveland and completely change it. Being drafted, the NFL is a completely different story, as we've seen with Jacksonville and all these, and Cleveland, all these horribly run organizations. So Detroit, obviously. So yeah, that's a really, really good point. I didn't even think about it, to be honest. Before that, that's a really good point.
But I mean, with all of that being said, though, I am picking the Bengals. I just want to get that in there. I actually am going with Joe Burrow. When I look at the game, I think that like the Rams probably match up pretty well with the Bengals. But I just think it's something magical about Joe Burrow. I think somehow he's going to come through. He just keeps coming through for this team. And hey, the Cinderella story, no one thought the Bengals would be here. So 26-24, that's what I'm going with. Game-winning field goal.
I think Joe Burrow about to have a bad game.
My only
prediction.
The only counter argument I have is, what is he going to do when Von Miller and Aaron Donald are going to be in his face with that pass rush and be in his face in 2 seconds? There's nothing, because that offensive line, they allowed 9 or 10 sacks to the Titans.
Nine.
Yeah.
The Titans. I mean, the Titans have a good defense, but they don't have Aaron Donald. So, I mean, I just don't, I don't trust it. Super Bowls are normally won in the trenches, right? For the most part, with there's the exception every once in a while. So the best team normally has the best offensive and defensive line, and that's the Rams for me. So, plus we don't know what Jamar Chase is going to do if Jalen Ramsey is going to shadow him.
They got other options though. T. Higgins.
They do have other options. T. Higgins.
Higgins is
Don't remind me about T. Higgins with that. Don't remind me in that freaking fantasy playoff semifinal, 50-point game, wherever he had. Don't remind me of that, please.
Yeah, I feel that. But yeah, I do think the Bengals have a really solid offense, so that's gonna definitely make the game interesting. They're like well-rounded, like running back, receivers, tight end solid, and obviously got a solid quarterback in Burrow. So I think it's going to be a good game. I just think Joe Burrow is going to play bad for some reason. I don't know why. Not bad, but like just
Yeah, it's the Super Bowl. The bright lights. We got to see how he reacts. But yeah, I mean, I guess with all that, we kind of went longer than we've been going recently. Like I said, good to have the boys back. But yeah, I mean, you guys got anything else for us?
No, trust the process, man. I hope it all works out. I really do. This is the year. They have to get to the finals this year, or else I'm gonna be not fun to be around.
Well, either way, we've got to get your reaction on here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, if you made it this far, obviously true sports nerd like us, we appreciate the support. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Like this video. And yeah, just keep nerding it up. We're out.